Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Jason, Jason's House of Fun and Video Games, bringing you today an update from the House of Fun and Video Games. So, do I have anything to show off? No, but I got some cool updates. So we're gonna start it off with this. So, I think my next thing that I'm gonna have for a video for all you kind folks out there is going to be something I actually got off of another content creator's channel. Well, it's connected to him. He partnered up with somebody. I think it's One Up something. It's not Arcade One Up or anything like that. But anyway, if you want to go visit his channel and check it out, you can do that. It's the Angry Video Game Nerd. And on his latest video, he had a deal where you could get some type of cleaning things. I don't even know how to explain them, but you know, with the old systems, if you own any of them, and if you don't, time for a lesson. So when you're trying to clean an old cartridge-based game like the Nintendo 8-bit system or Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis 64, anything that has a cartridge, and this isn't a how-to guide, so just take it for what it is, right? Because I've heard of things not really working out in your favor when you do this, but every time that I've done it, I've been successful and had a lot of luck, so that's good. But anyway, what I'm referring to is cleaning those cartridges. After a while, because they are metal, and the prawns inside the systems kind of attach to them, and that's how data is transferred from the cart to the system, to the TV, and so on and so on. You have to clean them every now and then, and what I've always done is use alcohol and Q-tips of some sort. And it's always worked out, but one of the things that they did point out when I was watching it's kind of like an ad at the beginning of the video, was there's these little fuzzies that always seem to get in there every once in a while, and they don't really disrupt anything, and I mean, you could still use that, but I wanted to try something out that was new and see if it would really work, because the type of material it's made out of, it just looks more durable and more better, and maybe get some of that scuff and gunk out of there, because over time things just get into them. If you have owned an NES or owned a SNES or anything like that, everybody blows into it, and if you don't, I'm super shocked. And if I'm the only one that blows into them, then I guess I'm a fool. Because supposedly the water from your mouth can damage it or whatever. But I've never had that problem. But after a while, you need to be able to, get it to work again, right? So this is one of the ways. I wish I had a picture of it. I wish I had my iPad, but not my iPad. Sorry, shame on me. My Samsung tablet, but I do not. Just to show you a picture of it, but it's pretty cool. You can buy a couple of different things from it. You can buy a pack of them, I think, for $9. There's like 3 different types. I bought like the one that kind of includes all 3 because I'm a huge avid fan of that channel. It's an awesome channel. It has some great content, and it has certainly evolved over the last 10 or 12 years or whatever however long he's had his channel for. So if you don't know what that is, type that into YouTube and you'll be able to see that. Check out his latest video and check it out. When I get them, I'll let you know, and maybe do a comparison on how the Q-tips work as opposed to how the item works that I purchased, because they're really cool. And it has this picture on it, and there's a few different things with it, so it's pretty cool. Gave him some support. He has a great channel. I believe he's over 3 million subs, so that's like mind-blowing to somebody like me, but still, that's pretty cool. So if you get a chance, check that out. I'm not in talks with him. Nothing like that in any means. I'm just trying to throw something out there that would be something cool for you to get, that I'm definitely going to get, and I'll let you know if it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down, because I'm an honest person and give an honest perspective and review of anything that I do give. So that's that. Now for the second part of the update. I'm super excited, right? So I've been yapping lapping. I could create words because this is my channel, my video, and that makes no sense, but whatever, right? I've been talking a lot about this game room coming together, and we're getting closer. So I bought the flooring, which is the next best step. we finally got one of the last inspections of the house. So when you're doing a project inside the house, you have to not only get permits, you have to get inspections from the city to make sure that what these folks are doing, your contractors are doing, are up to code, and make sure that they're legal and they're safe, right? So there's a lot of red tape to go through with stuff like this, and it's for a good reason. So I don't want this to be a me complaining this is taking forever, because I literally had this happen, and then a lot of other stuff that I've shared on the channel has happened to me as well in my personal life. And then, of course, you know, the ongoing health crisis happened as well. So that kind of throws a wrench in the works for everything. So that's really why a lot of this is set back. This probably could have been done a month ago if everything went to plan. But hey, it is what it is. You got to stay positive, because eventually I'm not going to see any more of this. I'm going to see something completely different, and I'm super excited for it. But I wanted to share with you the progress we've made. So now that we've gotten the inspection on the insulation, because this part of the house needs to be insulated per code, we got the walls up and we got the plaster going. So let's take a look. So before, the last time you saw this, there was a whole bunch of holes. It was certainly holy. Now the reason why there's a hole here is because eventually this is going to be a door to be able to access this. This, like I've said before, is for the bathroom, specifically for the toilet, and you'll be able to access it very easily. Whereas before, it was a lot bigger door. I mean, the door kind of went up a little bit, but you know, this is all you really need to be able to do, and most people can get in there. And I have one person that typically does all my plumbing work. So super excited about that. And look, no more hole. This is where our problem all started, folks. And that's all done. So the plastering is done. And you can't really see that, but that is where the said problem started, with that pipe going whoop and being gone and bye-bye. So, I mean, it isn't, you know, at the point where I'm going to be able to burn all my stuff down and have some fun, but I mean, we're getting there, right? Let's get excited about something. So in here, you can't really see, I can't put the light on because it's not on here yet, but all the walls have been taken care of. Oh, there's that walk-in shower. If there is any good thing that comes out of that, it's the fact that I have a second shower, because we're going to be doing other projects in the house, and in order for us to do that and not have to leave and spend yet another month in a hotel, this was very important. So this is where the laundry and dryer are going to go. So for the last couple of months, like 2 months or so, I think it's been, probably even longer, 3 months, 4 months, I forgot, we haven't been able to do our own laundry here. And don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of folks, and I've said this before, that do their laundry at the laundromat for financial reasons, or just because they want to do a bulk of laundry and we can get it over with. I personally, especially during this time where, you know, with the obvious going on, I would have rather have done my laundry here. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not going to use something that is unsafe. So that has been gone, and we'll be able to get a new one, which is pretty cool, right? But this is where it's going to go. This is a little bit smaller than it was before, so everything will be kind of snug, but still excited because we added that shower, which is going to be really important for things coming up in the future. So this isn't the color it's going to be. I believe we're going to do a gray tone, because that's what the flooring is going to be. So as you can see, this hasn't been done yet. Nothing's been done yet over here, but eventually over the next week or two, we're gonna get all this stuff done. And finally I'll be able to get my stuff in. Oh, there's a door. I think that's gonna be for over here, but I'm not sure. But I'm super excited about that. And yeah, I mean, who wouldn't be, right? I've been out of a game room since January, and we're now in May. I haven't got my hair cut. The ongoing health crisis, like the world is just a crazy place. So 2020 is a very crazy time for us all, right? But somebody pointed out something, and it was very kind of them to do in one of, you know, the conversations I've had with some of you folks through the channel on some of my videos that I've shot. And they said that they couldn't believe how humble I was with everything that's gone on, from this to the personal things that have happened to me as well, and the loss, you know, and everything like that. and off topic or offhand, I've had a few other folks ask me that as well. Like, how do you stay so positive, and how do you, kind of keep your stuff together? I guess is the best way to put it. And I don't have a how-to guide on anything. I never claim to, but I think the thing that really helps me out is, everything kind of happens for a reason, I suppose. It was just meant to be. This basement was just it was going to happen one way or another. It's just what happens. And when you, own a house, you have to expect to run into problems, because that's the whole point of a house. It's a big responsibility, right? So nobody wants to face those things, but at the end of the day, we have to put our big boy and big girl pants on and face things forward. I mean, that's the best way I guess I could put it. And with the other things that have happened, because I've had a lot of folks give their condolences and everything about the passing of my mother, and I do really appreciate that you folks have been kind enough not only to watch the video, but to have a great conversation and offer your condolences. Like, that means the world to me. And there's no easy way to say something to somebody in regards to somebody losing anybody. And it's no how-to guide out there on how to really get through it. Do I feel better than the special update that I did? I wouldn't say I feel better. I would say I'm moving forward. And I still think about my mom every day. When I wake up, I think about my mom, and I miss her and everything like that. But I know for me, what she really would have wanted me to do is to continue to be successful, continue to be a good person, and continue to be a productive member of society. So as long as I feel that I achieve most of those things every day, then I guess that's my way of moving forward. And time heals all, I've heard. I don't know if I believe in that or not. I think that you just kind of move forward. I don't know if anything really heals. I think things will just, always stay with you. And, that's kind of that. I don't want to go on a huge rant about it, but I just want to say thank you to all you folks out there that have been very supportive through this very difficult time with the personal life and everything with the basement that's going on. It's wild, right? But that's kind of my way of staying humble. And I really appreciate that individual reached out to me. It meant the world to me. And I wanted to show one more thing. We're going to get to one more update. So this right here is going to be the flooring. So that is going to bounce off of the walls, which is going to be a gray, like I said. So that's really why we're going for that gray. I don't really like the blue. I mean, I did at one point a long time ago, but the trim, obviously I've mentioned that more than once. I'm not a fan of that wallpaper trim or that stuff at all. It just doesn't do it for me. So I'll be super excited once this is all done and we're ready to go, and I can set up my game room and we can have some great conversations on what you folks think would be a great idea, or like, did this work? Does this look better? Like, I like to hear opinions, and I like to have good conversations with folks. I've always said that. So that's the update for the house as far as the game room. So super excited about that. As far as other things, so there is one more thing that I debated on bringing up on the channel, because I don't want it to be a poor me party or anything like that. I clearly don't want pity from anyone, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, don't get me wrong. But the way that I am as a person, I always appreciate when somebody says something positive to me, or sees that, I'm going through something tough, and they try to give some encouraging advice or some sort of form of communication, just saying like, hey, we're here for you. Hey, I hope you feel better. Whatever it happens to be, because it's always a difficult thing when loss is involved or anything that personal happens to you. But just remember that before I go to my next topic and the last one, right? So, second to last one. So, unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, my dog was having a very tough time, and he's been, his health has certainly been degrading. He was 12 years old. He's an English bulldog. Typically, the bulldogs, at least from my knowledge and the research I've done, typically only live until about 8 or 9. Mine was 12, so I feel very fortunate that I have had my bulldog for as long as I have. I've had him since he was about 4 months, maybe 8 months. I think it was 4 or 8 months. I can't remember, but I got him in 2008. And unfortunately, his health has not been doing too well. I mean, he's an old dog. He's been well taken care of. It's nothing in those regards. It's just when, you know, people and animals get old, they develop problems. So this happened about 2 weeks ago when he couldn't really walk. And you could clearly see that things were taking the wrong turn. There was a few other things that were wrong with him that we couldn't figure out, and like we could spend $1,000,001, but you know the veterinarians, you know, doctors made it very clear that there's nothing really we could do at this point. You know, I don't believe he had cancer or anything like that. Not from what I was told, right? So it was just really old age, and you know, he just was having a real tough time. And you know, there comes a time where, in anybody's life, and typically this will happen a lot with animals, you have to put yourself ahead, even with people too, I guess to an extent. You have to put your own feelings ahead from your own, right? And again, just my opinion. I'd be glad to have this conversation with anybody who would like to have and just kind of give some insight and some, you know, some of their maybe examples or maybe things that have happened to them and just kind of compare and contrast. I really, you know, like that about YouTube. So, you know, with all that being said, sorry. You know, he was just not doing well, and you know, I had to make this decision back in 2003. Well, my first dog, who was a half Labrador, half Shepherd, her name was Sheba, and she meant the world to me. She developed cancer, and she lasted till she was about 17. But once, you know, things kind of go into play, you kind of have an idea of what you need to do and the right decisions you need to make, at least in my opinion. So back then, you know, she ended up getting the cancer and she, you know, pretty much couldn't walk. So it was time to make that decision. And I hesitated on that. I was a very young person back then. I was just really starting to have any idea of what I was doing. Not that I really do now, but I just have a little bit more of an idea, right? Have some more experiences to reflect on. But I think I could have, in hindsight, looking back to that, I probably should have made that decision a little quicker. But at the end of the day, you have to learn. And she wasn't suffering or anything like that. It was just doing the right thing for the pet. And you have to, if there's anything you get out of any of my videos, I always leave with, you know, everything you can interpret and opinions and conversations are great. But at the end of the day, you have to make the best decision for yourself, the best decision for your family, the best decision, whoever this is going to impact. So with all that being said, very long-winded, but that's how I am, I guess. It was time, and there was nothing we could do for him. So it was a very difficult thing, and I tried to, you know, once again, being the bullheaded person that I can be sometimes, I was going to do it on my own. And I remember the last time that I had to put a pet down, which was my Sheba. You know, I had my best friend with me, and he knew her as long as I did. Like, I've known this kid for, good Lord, over 30 years now. My best friend, and you know, he really supported me through that time. But unfortunately, he's not here right now. I mean, physically, you know, living, breathing, stuff like that. He's just not available for that right now. So. My girlfriend Cynthia wanted to come with me, and you know, we made the phone call, and you know, the steps to the end of life for a pet can be very difficult, but it's usually very quick. I don't really want to get into details about it because it bothers me even just thinking about it. It's probably been about 2 weeks now, but I had to do the right thing by him, and I had to have him put to sleep, and it's very difficult to talk about, and it's very difficult to think. Like, this year has been very difficult for everybody, not just me. with everything that's been going on, and you know how many folks have lost their lives to the current health crisis and jobs, and 2020 is a very difficult year and probably the most challenging year that we've had since 2001, I would probably say. And that's my opinion, of course. I'd like to hear yours, of course, in the comment section down below. But I had to make a decision, and I did what was best for my dog. And, you know, luckily now I have his ashes. It's in a nice wooden, you know, urn type container. So I have his little picture in there, and you know, that's just life, and it's really difficult to talk about him. I get lost in my words sometimes, even thinking about it. But 2020 has been a very challenging year because first it was the basement, and then it was my mother, and then of course my dog, and a few other things as well. But the way I always see it is, and I've said this on a video before, and I will always stand by this, and this is kind of how I get through the day, even the most challenging times. Through every dark night, there's a bright day after that. It's as simple as that. And if you have that optimism, you have that positivity, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to influence anybody out there, and again, not a how-to guide on how to deal with anything, because I'm sure there's plenty of different ways you can deal with things other than I do, but it works for me. So, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. And I miss him every day. It's very strange coming to the house without him being here, and it's not easy, but at the end of the day, I know that I made the right decision for him, and I thought once again of somebody else other than my own needs, my own wants, my own, you know, best intentions. And I think that if we all do that every now and then, again, my opinion, I think things would be a lot different, because there's a whole lot of other stuff that's happened recently in the last week. I don't particularly think that it's appropriate to talk about, at least on my channel, because just don't want to. It's very disheartening. I'm sure a lot of you folks have an idea of what I'm talking about. And it's just another sad example on how, you know, tough this world can be, right? But with that being said, and dropping that kind of, you know, big giant update and news, yeah, so trying to get my mind off of things so I can finish this video and not get choked up. The last thing I wanted to talk about, which probably should have been before that, but you know, I am who I am, and I can do it. So I actually wanted to ask you folks a question. If you've ever heard of Laserdisc before, Laserdisc is something I'm seriously thinking about getting into. It's a big rabbit hole, and those things are expensive. The players themselves are extremely expensive, and I've never owned one before, but they just, for whatever reason, something interests me about it, and I guess it's just something new to collect. And I ain't looking for a whole complete collection, because trust me, there are some bangers in that Laserdisc collection that would ring you up thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars, right? But recently, I saw something on eBay, and it was a Pioneer Laserdisc. Now, the reason why this model interests me is because it's one of the most rarest models out there. And why is that, you ask? It has a capability of playing Sega Genesis games and Sega CD. Blows my mind. I've heard about it, I've seen things about it, and it's extremely expensive. So when I saw it, obviously it's not something that I've seen very often, probably something I've seen maybe once or twice in the years that I've been on eBay, or just in general, because it's such a rare item. And it did have some issues with it, not like, you know, that I could see, just, you know, like a chip on it or something. And of course it's an older thing, so it's not gonna, you know, look, you know, spick and span and everything like that and be nice and clean. But it was a lot of money, and I tried to have a conversation with the seller to see if he was willing to budge on the price for something that would have been more affordable, at least in my name and my, my life, on what I could actually spend on it, because I want to get in the Laserdisc. And if I was going to get a Laserdisc player, I'm going hog wild and going after that. I will find that thing at a good price. I'm like determined, because that thing's so beautiful. But it's something that's over $800, and that's an awful lot of money. And we got to think of other things. I have a lot of responsibilities, of course, just like we all do, right? And we all have impulse buys, and I've certainly done my fair share of that. So let's not get things twisted. But try to always think of the more important things, right? So I couldn't get them to come down in price, but let me tell you, the thing is beautiful, other than the little chip on it, which is the physical defect. It doesn't do anything for affecting the actual system or the processor or anything like that, whatever it's inside of it. But super cool. If you've ever heard of that, let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm waiting for one day to find that. But speaking of that, there is one more thing, because there's always one more thing with me, right? So I just drove by my local thrift today, because I drive by it every day. It's one thing that I really enjoy doing, a couple of days out of the week, searching for things, looking for great deals. Well, me and Cynthia could go there and look for, stuff that interests her, like teacups and plates and stuff like that. It was fun. It was a way for us to connect. And I just went by there today. I saw the lights on. I still saw the closed sign where you do the donation. So I was like, because I heard that we potentially in the state of Massachusetts will be allowing more non-essential business to open up, and I believe the thrift shops is one of them. God only knows what kind of restrictions will be in there, because we're doing this very slowly, and that's just the way things are, right? And whatever is more healthier for everyone involved is the good thing to do. So I went by there, I saw the lights on, and I was like, I still see the closed sign. Maybe they just haven't taken it down. And I saw a person in there, and I almost like jumped out of the truck ready to go over there, because it's been a couple months, probably since March, I think, right before my mom passed away, that I went to one, and they're actually in there cleaning. So I saw somebody in there. I believe they have to do some sort of sanitation or cleaning, just like with any building that reopens up that was not essential. And I think most of the essential ones had to do this at one point or another. But obviously there's a lot of deep cleaning needs to be done to make sure that things are as safe as possible for the public. And again, I don't know a lot about that. I'm just trying to think. And of course there's a lot of rules and regulations of reopening and stuff. But I heard that this Monday will be the day the thrift opens. So I can't wait to get out of work and go and be able to see it, but I don't know if it's, reduced hours, restricted hours. Obviously, there'll probably be some sort of occupancy that could be in the building at once. There may be metering. Of course, here in Massachusetts, the governor still has in place that we should be wearing something to cover our face, whether that be a cloth thing or a face mask or whatever you want to call it, something to cover your face as we go through the 4 stages of reopening and stuff like that. I'm not really into politics, but you really can't ignore it. It's just something that's going around. So hopefully we just keep proceeding forward and move into the new normal, I guess I call it, or whatever. I just would like to see things get back to some sort of normal at one point. But this has certainly been a learning curve and a learning time, and hopefully a lot of folks have learned a lot of things from it, because I have personally. Definitely have learned a lot from it. But anyway, let me know in the comment section down below. Has your thrift opened up? Do you thrift? Video game stores, like these are all, anything non-essential. Has anything opened up for you? How is that going? Is your state going through phases as well? I want to know in the comment section down below, because this is my channel, my video, and that's what I'm asking for you. And remember, positive conversations only. That's the ones I like to have. It's the ones I love to have. They make my day, and hopefully me yapping about whatever I'm yapping about currently is what makes your day as well. So last thing, 53 awesome folks out there have subscribed to the channel. I couldn't be more happier. Hopefully we keep going up in subs, not because I need it. It makes me feel better or anything like that. It just means for me, and I'm not talking about financial, for me, it's me saying that I reached out to 53 folks right now, and hopefully make their days better. Hopefully share some sort of positivity. Hopefully make, you know, that tough day ahead just a little bit better, right? Because that's the whole point of the tube of a billion views, but only one being you, right? So, thank you to all you folks out there. And if you haven't already and you enjoy my content, hit the subscribe button. And if you have subscribed, make sure you hit that notification bell, because every time I post a video, whether it's an update, a review of a product, thrift time and finds, once we finally get that thrift open up, anytime I go to the game store, any other things I got, and of course the reviews, because I'm super excited to be doing one, hopefully sooner than later, even though I've been saying it, but there's just no time. I barely got any time to think sometimes. And not poor me, it's just me being able to orchestrate my day around things like this, right? Because this is a hobby, and I do appreciate everybody that, you know, views and likes, comments, all that stuff, shares. But at the end of the day, there are obviously things we have are more important than what we love to do, and that's just the end of it. That is part about being a grown-up. So, with all that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you had a wonderful Friday. I know the weekend's coming up. This typically isn't the day I upload. I think I upload mostly on Sundays, at least has been recently. But have a wonderful weekend. Have a good rest of your night. And maybe on Monday, I may, if not Tuesday, have an update to whether I got to go to the thrift or not. Because you know the second I can go in there and start finding some great deals, and maybe I'll find that Laserdisc player, which would be completely like blow my mind if I walked into that place and it's just, look, there it is right there. $25? Sure, why not? Highly doubt that'll happen, but I'm sure I'll find something once I can get back out there. But anyway, this is Jason's House of Fun and Video Games. Thank you very much for watching, subscribing, hitting that bell, and I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful night.